Web3, how to move from Web 2 to Web 3, and the differences between them. I am Vlad, and here's my colleague Stas. We are working for Matter Labs company that builds zkSync products, that is scaling solution for Ethereum. And we actually started working almost 2 years ago. And we started with Rust, TypeScript, JavaScript, all Web 2 tools. And now we are working with Solidity. Yeah. Do you want to add something?
You've covered it all.
So when you speak about Solidity, we should understand that there is no sense to speak it out of the context of blockchain. Solidity is a programming language that is used for building special application that can be executed on blockchain. And that kind of application are called a smart contract. It's actually a piece of code that can be used for different purpose, but the idea is quite similar to the traditional usual contract, as we can see in the real world. So basically, this traditional contract that is actually is an agreement between 2 or 3 or more parties on some statements. So, for instance, is Bob on the left corner and Alice in right corner, and they want to make some kind of swap. They want to swap money, and let it be Bob has 1 euro, and he wants to swap this euro to $1, right? And Alice has $1, but wants to swap it to euro. And of course, they can communicate between each of them and just rely on honesty of each other. So Alice can came to Bob and say, okay, I have 1 euro, I can give you this euro, but I should receive the $1. It all works, especially if it's only $1, right? It's no big deal. But if you will talk about the internet or the big amount of money, it doesn't work. And to solve that problem, currently, mostly everyone uses third parties. So we can have another entity that to whom you can rely. So as an example, there's a bank to whom you can rely, and from the example above, we can see that, okay, Bob can send money to bank, Alice can send money to bank, and only if both of them send money to bank, only if it will be succeed, bank will make a swap and return money to Bob and Alice. So it's how it works in traditional way. To avoid any trust, we can introduce a smart contract. The idea is quite similar. We also want to have an agreement between parties. However, we don't want to introduce another third party to whom we can rely. And that being said, that it's just a piece of code that can be executed, and rule was enforced by the code. And in such case, Alice and Bob can see what exactly was written in the contract, like in high-level programming language. See that, agree on that, and use it to execute some logic. We currently don't really need any other third parties. Okay. And that's actually pretty good properties that we receive from that smart contracts. So first of all, it's immutable. This means that you can change it. So since you deploy the contract and since you deploy your code, it will be unchanged. And also, it's not the case for the Web 2, right? Because you can't really verify what Google run on their servers, and you can really rely on their code because they can change it tomorrow. And yeah, But for the blockchain and the smart contracts, you can be sure that if you deploy something, it will be the same today, tomorrow, and forever. But also it can be changed because sometimes we need to have flexibility of changing rules if you, for instance, find a bug in the code. Right. Also, it's transparent, so anyone can see what exactly happens in that contract, what the logic was written in that contract. Yeah,